Hey, check 1, 2. Hey, audio test, check 1, 2.
Okay, good morning, folks. We're a couple minutes out. We do have chairs available up front. If you can start squeezing in, we appreciate it. Okay, good morning, folks. Good morning. If you can silence your conversations, appreciate it. Buddy Bloxton, Plant Chief for the park incident. It's your operational briefing for August 2nd. Once again, please silence your cell phones. If you're out back, please reduce your conversations so we can keep moving. As far as the incident objectives and managed objectives, they have not changed. They can be found on page 1 in your IAP. Current situational update, night operations, Jed Gaines.
All right, good morning. As we expected, it was a busy day yesterday. As soon as that ceiling lifted and the smoke cleared, the fire activity picked up, especially out on the east end. Down in Branch 5, everything's still looking good along the line, holding well. We continue to do a lot of work in Cohasset. We're slowly getting folks back in there. PG&E is still fixing infrastructure. We're still continuing to take out hazard trees and mop up any hot spots in Cohasset. Up in Branch 10, everything's looking real good. They're finishing up their direct line that they've been working on for the last several days, so that's about done. They're continuing to improve and mop that up all along Branch 10 and backhaul any hose where appropriate. Up into Branch 12, everything is holding and doing well. They're still working on the little finger that squirted out on us up there. In Branch 12 on the southwest side, the brush is really tall, very thick, minimal fire history in there, 12 to 14 foot tall brush that they're dealing with. So a lot of work. They do have direct line in there. They're still trying to get that plumbed and mopped up. So that is a big priority for them up there in Branch 12 to get that done. Over into Branch 15, continue to go direct down south off a Little Giant Mill Road. Everything's looking good. The fire is kind of coming out of Mill Creek over there, so we're working on a plan to get that buttoned up and get some more contingency line put in over in Branch 15. Down in Branch 18 yesterday. Busy day working out a plan on this side of Mill Creek and trying to see what we can do, continuing contingency line and putting in more work in there. Down in branch 20, Deer Creek got real active yesterday. We were going direct. We had to pull out in the afternoon just because the fire activity picked up. We had several spots. So we backed up to our alternate line, and got that plumbed now, and the fire's pretty much bumping that, and we brought a little fire down last night to kind of keep that in check, and their crews are finishing that up in there, and we're hoping to hold that on the K line that we have in place right now. Down into branch 25, Forest Ranch still looking really good. We continue to get minor flare-ups along the line and some of the dozer piles, and with that being repopped, we're starting to get some more calls for service in there. So crews are doing good work in there. Have a good day.
Weather, Jeff Tonkin.
Good morning. Overnight, we likely had our driest night in many days across the perimeter with RH recoveries only about 25 to 35%, and that was generally from the northwest corner all the way around to the south side here. A little more moist on this west side here, but again, very low RHs and very warm temperatures this morning as well. So the lower atmosphere is very primed for some activity today. We're also going to see less smoke today as well. So things are happening. If there's any good news about the weather today, the surface winds are still going to remain very light, generally out of the south, southwest, and in that afternoon range of 6 to 8 miles per hour. So some gusts upwards of 12 or 14. We did see some little higher gusts across the higher elevations yesterday, and we'll see those again today, generally about 15, 16 miles per hour or so. But again, that's at very high elevations. The other issue that we're facing today is thunderstorm and shower activity. We're already starting to see some cloud cover coming in from generally way down around the Tahoe area. That's our first wave of moisture is going to ride up northward and then start to turn toward the northwest this afternoon. Expect mid-level and high-level clouds to reach the perimeter area right around 1,400 or so today, with the potential of getting some light rain across the perimeter around that same time frame. But at this point, we're looking at generally only sprinkles, very light rain. Like I mentioned earlier, the lower atmosphere is very, very dry, so a lot of that rain might evaporate before hitting the ground. And at this point, also, we're not anticipating really any thunderstorm activity around the perimeter or over the perimeter. Best chances for thunderstorms is going to be well off to the east across eastern Plumas, eastern Lassen today. And if that happens, we could still see some outflow affecting the perimeter. But again, the chances of that are very minimal. So today we'll be monitoring. Ryan up on the north end and myself down here will be monitoring the radar very closely, and we will put radio updates out.
Fire behavior, Scott Weiss.
So I'd like to focus on the Mill Creek and the Dare Creek. These creeks are actually just large canyons out there. Mill Creek, rim to rim, is about 4 miles. Extremely steep, rugged, inaccessible, hard to get into. On the south aspect, a huge wall of south aspect facing the sun. Within that aspect, there's finer fuels in there. There's grass mixed in with the timber. It's going to be a lot more susceptible for fire growth. Plus, it has that south wind to also help it push along. Above Mill Creek, there's also a lot of timber harvest plants or prior harvest plants. So there's a lot of bunch of plots in there where we have finer fuels, shrubs that are receptive for the spotting. And then Deer Creek is similar conditions. So if we see the fire get established in that Deer Canyon area, you're going to see the same thing happen there that we're watching at Mill Creek. Thunderstorms. We heard that there's a slight chance of thunderstorms, but however, I want everybody to take 5 minutes at 1400 hours and look for signs of what's going on out there. If you see any virga, if you start seeing any sprinkles, take a second, figure out what's going on, because if the thunderstorms are over you or near you, you're going to get gustier winds, different directions, possible spotting. I won't say possible spotting, it is going to spot. So just be aware of that. I want you guys to be smart, be intelligent, and be informed.
Safety, David Morrison.
Hey, good morning. Today's safety products are on page 8 and 9 of your IEP. Please utilize these products when you brief your crews. Document that on your 214s before you guys get started out on the shift. Today's weather, obviously you've heard it's going to be hot, it's going to be dry, and we're expecting thunderstorms to come in. So while we can't change any of that, please prep your bodies, prep your crews, proper hydration, electrolyte replacement, and get ready for that extenuating heat coming in. Terrain, rocky, steep. You've heard in the drainages, it's what we're dealing with. So please make sure you watch your footing, watch where you're working at, prepare your body to prevent those nuisance injuries. The thunderstorm downdrafts, it's a real thing. So if you do start seeing those thunderstorms develop over you, watch that fire line, watch for that movement, and watch what's going to happen. Be safe out there.
Park Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. So it's just been a little over the week that since this fire started. We saw a first few days of some significant fire activity and fire behavior that has been unprecedented. You guys did a good fight and stayed in the fight throughout that. We had a few days of moderation due to the weather, and we were able to put our plans into place and make a lot of success in attaining the lines that we have established. And that's a win, and you guys have been winning, so that's fantastic. We're very happy with what you guys have been doing out there. Now we're moving into a new chapter of the fire. Now we're back into some more active fire behavior. The past 12 hours have increased the activity. We've been prepared for that. We've been prepared with the weather that we're going to be facing, and your leadership has put together outstanding plans, and they're prepared to take on that new challenge. So for our priorities for today, for our fire, is our number one priority is going to be in branch 15. We're going to focus predominantly in the areas of section 25 and 36. In branch 20, our number 2 priority, that's going to focus in the area of the L line and the K line. And in branch 12, our 3rd priority of the fire is getting that buttoned up south of Lanes Valley Road. So there's your priorities set for you by the operations section. Again, good plans in place for that. With all these changes, the increase of the fire activity and so forth, we've talked about complacency already and all that. Maintain that focus. And it's very important. You've heard from IMET, you've heard from FBAN and safety, some very important things to pay attention to today. So that goes back to your situational awareness. And we need to maintain and focus on that situational awareness with this incident so we have success and we have a safe operation throughout. So I challenge you to maintain your situational awareness like a champion today.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. This morning we have air attack and 2 tankers available for early up at 0900. So that means Helco will be going up between 8 o'clock and 8:30 this morning to check the air. We do have access to more tankers. We're just trying to cut down on the hours on our big tankers. But if this thing gets up and starts to run, we do have access to all VLATs and all Type 1 tankers. So keep that in mind. We also have 3 helibases in 2 zones. In the Butte zone, we have the Chico helibase. Air to ground 15 is your air to ground. In the Tehama zone, we have the Red Bluff helibase and the Spring Ranch helibase. That is air to ground 8. We also have 2 MRBs, which are mobile retardant plants. In the Chico zone, in the Butte zone, is the Creek MRB, and in Matin MRB in Tehama zone. We have 2 UAS platforms that we will be working night shift. We have Copter 606, the Firehawk, that is daytime rescue. We have Guard 840, which is nighttime rescue coming out of Reading. PG&E has been allowed to fly when Helco allows them, so be aware that all aircraft up there are not firefighting aircraft. Have a safe day.
Communications, Tom Webb.
Good morning. Today's a little bit of a change for communications. We will be switching over to our NIFC system for communications over the incident. The good thing is we've cloned you and got you set up for that the last few days. So pay attention in the upper left-hand corner of your 205 on what zone you need to be in to have those access to those frequencies, depending on what zone you're assigned to on the incident. So just going to go around the horn real quick. In the north, in the Tehama zone, 41 and 42 are going to be your best to use. 38 and 40 in the south, and then NIFC 4 off of Mount Lassen should cover the majority of the incident. You will have to hunt and pack because those getting into those different repeaters change as you go around a corner or over a hill. And again, between the different zones, the southern repeaters might work better in the north, and the northern ones might work better in the south. You're just going to have to hunt and pack to see what works in your area. If I can have you change or turn to page 77 in your IEP to the Butte Zone 205. Need to have you write a little something in there that didn't get filled on the IEP in the blank cell that's there on channel 12. That blank cell needs to say Division Bravo Echo and fire suppression and repair. That's what's assigned for Bravo Echo and fire suppression and repair. The 204s are correct. That cell just didn't populate on the 205. Make it a safe shift. If you have any questions, come and see us in the comm unit.
Medical, Chris Urey.
Good morning. Today's medical plan's on page 81 in your IAP. At the bottom of the 206 is the reporting instructions for any line emergencies. Please brief your crews this morning on those procedures, and if you do have a line emergency, follow those procedures and we'll get you the help that you need. Today we will have fire line EMTs and medics, RIMS teams, and ALS ambulances out on the line for you today. We do have CalMat and MERT here in camp, here at the Butte base, and also at the Tehama base. If you have any issues, you can come see the medical unit leaders. We're located in the building right next door, or the medical unit leaders at the Tehama base. Have a safe shift.
Logistics, Andy Whitlock.
Good morning. On page 88 of your IEP, you'll find a QR code with all the logistical support, messages, and maps. The ground support is currently doing B services. Please follow the message in that QR code and schedule an appointment. They'll fit you in. Thank you. And that is at both locations. Thanks.
Information, Blanca Mercado.
Good morning. If you could turn to page 82 in your IAP, have the most recent numbers for your status box when you're clear to copy. Acreage is at 397,629. That's 397,629. Containment's at 24%. That's 24%. And total personnel is 6,375. 6,375. Just to the right of the page, you'll see two QR codes. The one on the top is the California State Penal Code. It allows the news media to enter any scenes of a disaster. The one just below that one is our CAL FIRE social media policy. Please become familiar with both of those. We're collecting any photos and any videos you may have of the incident. Come see us. Our trailer's at the front of base camp. And lost and found, we have a few items still. We do have a communication device, a couple of sunglasses, and a yellow chalk block. Mail service is available. Please utilize the example at the bottom of the page for your shipping label. Have a safe shift.
And Finance, Roger Rains.
Good morning. As logistics mentioned on page 88 is a QR code that will take you to the three main messages for the finance package. Also, there's the OES message there as well. If you're a local government or out of state, please make sure you check in with OES at either one of the base camps. For our CAL FIRE employees, most of you, the end of the pay period is coming, end of the work period is coming up on Sunday. We have ePay cafes set up in both finance sections at both bases. And please continue to keep those shift tickets coming in. Lastly, on some of the areas of the fire where we're doing some mop up and patrol and a little bit quieter areas, if you can start looking for that suppression damage and get it to comp claim so we can get on top of that. Have a great day.
Butte Zone Operations, Jeremy Pierce.
All right, good morning. So you heard there's 6,300 plus people working on this fire. A lot of you have put in a lot of hard work either at this incident or the incident before, and long days, long shifts, and it's been a long fire season. Today we're going to be challenged. We know that because yesterday we had not quite the same weather we have today. It's actually getting a little worse. We didn't have any recoveries. So we know yesterday we had some spotting. It challenged our line. We know today it's going to do the same thing. So I ask, don't give up on those lines and hold what we've got. Hold for all the hard work you put in for the last several days on this fire. We need to hold it. So I challenge you to just hold your line, don't give up on it, and have a plan. So as the operations section and incident management team, we have a backup to the backup to the backup. We have that PACE model set. I ask you, when you get on the line, have a backup plan for yourself. Have a backup plan for what happens when things get a little squirrely out there. So please take that time with your resources and have a plan. All right, we're gonna do a roll call all the way down to the branch level. Butte operations, Dyer. Here. Branch 5, Lee. Here. Bravo, Bravo, Matson. Here. Bravo, X-ray, Valenzuela. Here. All right, this is, we've done some great work down here. I'm super impressed with how much black line we've got for such a large fire. We have our citizens that are down there that are repopulating in some of those areas. Let's be ambassadors to them, help them out, feed the animals that are up there, take care of the smokes that are up there. If you see any hazards, please mitigate those hazards, especially the trees, and you've got the list of those trees. Thank you for your work down there. All right, branch 18. Gorham. Here. Top. Bravo Charlie Top. Bravo Echo Carp. Here. All right, branch 18, up in this section here, right in the mouth of this, we need to hold that north side of the Mill Creek, okay? So we got to get that line in. Our objective here is to get that fire in that Mill Creek drainage and corral it in there, right? This section in here, I know you guys have been out there looking for some areas to go direct, stick with it, but also understand that this fire is going to pick up, so have a plan to get your folks out of there and everybody. We're going to establish some safety zones and TRAs in there. Please make sure they're identified, make sure the folks know how to get there, and make sure we have the time to get in there with all that heavy equipment. There's a lot of heavy equipment, a lot of dozers, a lot of transports in this area working, so be safe up there. Take a time out at that 1400 and do a tactical pause. Look at the weather and see if your plan is still working, and then identify those safety zones. Thank you. All right, branch 20. Jerry. Here. Bartow. Here. Bravo Foxtrot, Con. Here. Bravo Hotel, Alvarez. Here. Bravo Kilo, November, Becerra. Here. All right, this will be our priority branch. We've got fire on that L line, K line area coming out of Mill Creek. The objective, we need to stop that advance to the east in that Deer Creek drainage. It's tough. It's already challenged our line. It's already spotted over to the north side, the south side of the creek, but the north side of the ridge into that Mill Creek. That's going to challenge us because it's moved that fire a little farther up into that Mill Creek drainage, which is going to speed some things up. So if we can check that with aircraft, it's going to be a challenge because of the smoke conditions. So that would be great. But more so, we really need to hold that first contingency line that comes from the L line down into the Highway 32 corridor down into the creek. And then we have our secondary line, which is about 3 or 4 miles farther upstream, that we've got to make sure we improve that line and anticipate that we may lose that first line. Let's hold it, get the aircraft in there, and try to hold that line as best as can. It's going to be a big challenge today, guys. Branch 25, Kidwell. Here. Bravo Papa, Schindler. Here. Bravo Tango Victor, Cepeda. Here. All right. Forest Ranch, it's all been repopulated. We still have some smokes in there. We've got the same thing as Branch 5. We have all of our folks that we've done a lot of hard work in. They're trying to come back into their homes, see what damage has been done to their homes, or if their home is still standing. So please be ambassadors to them, help them out, give them some information, patrol that line, make sure we can backhaul any trash, any hose, anything like that out of there where appropriate, and take care of the last of those remaining smokes. Appreciate it. All right, Butte Fire Suppression Repair, Derby. Division Group, Fire Suppression, Victor, would be Davison. All right, they're going to start that work with accountability on there. You guys know the plan out there. You got a lot of equipment. Thanks for taking care of them, getting them all shepherded in the right direction. With that, you guys have a good, safe day. Hold what we got. Work hard. Don't give up on it. If the fire raises its head, take a break. take a look, come up with a plan. When it dies down, re-engage, re-engage, and re-engage. Thank you guys. Have a good shift.
Supervisor Todd Kimmel-Slew.
Thank you. As he said, I'm Todd Kimmel-Slew. I am the chair of the board of the Butte County Board of Supervisors, and I'm here on behalf of the citizens of Butte County, and I think I speak for the citizens of Tehama County as well. I'm glad all of you are here. This is just a big thank you from the bottom of our heart from everything you've done for our community. Thank you for treating our citizens with respect. This is a very trying time for many of them. I can't believe I was just up here thanking you about a month ago during the Thompson fire, and many of you are back and more from all jurisdictions. As I look out here, everybody from law enforcement to fire departments from all over the state of California, to independent contractors. Even some of my farmer friends are here with their big dozers and water tenders. This has been a huge community effort. I wish I could give each one of you a case of Sierra Nevada beer and so you could take home with you. But again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you've done. CAL FIRE especially. We are very proud in Butte County to have CAL FIRE as our fire department. They are exceptional. And also I always like to say that CAL FIRE is the shining star of our California government. You may like our California government, you may not, but one thing that is outstanding and one department that is outstanding, like I said, is the shining star is CAL FIRE. So thank you very much. I'm convinced without all of you, there would have been a lot more property damage and probably some deaths. So thank you very much, and keep up the great work.
Okay, a couple of reminders. Your division breakouts are straight out back behind the bleachers. Your unassigned resources will be over here. Cooperators meeting will be 10 hours over in the Harvest Building. If you are in the Butte zone in Tehama, it will be in the Tehama room if you're up in Tehama. The planning meeting will be in the same building at 1700 hours, and your next operational briefing will be here tomorrow morning at 0700 hours. Closing comments, Unified ICs, Todd Mack and Billy C.
Good morning. August 2nd. We got a long ways to go with fire season. You know, this message from me to all of you is not just about the firefight that's going on right now that we're laser focused on. It's about, you know, all the support work that it takes to continue that fight. You know, it's about managing our personal lives. It's about managing, you know, all of the distractions that we bring to these incidents with us. We have got to manage that the best we can because we've got a long ways to go. So I'm just going to ask you to pace yourself. Be aggressive, be smart, but pace yourself. We've got a long ways to go. Lastly, I'm transitioning out. Kristen Allison is coming in as the Unified IC behind me. You'll be in good hands. I just want to thank all the partners and cooperators here for working together to a common goal to get around this, to win the fight that we're in. It's been a pleasure to serve as the Unified Incident Commander with all of you. So have a good shift and be careful.
All right, good morning. Let's break this incident into 3 different phases. Obviously, we got 1/3 of this incident moving into the repopulation and recovery phase. That's a good thing. All these communities in the lower third that were impacted, we're starting to get back to normalcy for them. We're going to start that fire suppression repair. We're going to clean that up. We're going to get them back to their normal lives. Then we move into the second third of this incident. We're gaining perimeter control and starting that normalcy process for them. Then we move into this 1/3 in these canyons. That's where the danger zone is. Active firefighting, and now we got to contend with Mother Nature along with the difficult terrain that we're in there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be tough over the next 72 hours. We got a long road ahead of us. We still got a lot of firefighting efforts to go forward and gain ground on. I need everyone to stop, evaluate, plan, and execute as conditions change. Be safe out there. I don't want anyone hurt. And I want to repeat that. I don't want anyone hurt. Be safe out there. Be aggressive. But when you're being aggressive, be safe. Have a good day.
That concludes your operational briefing. You can unmute your cell phones, turn your radios on. Once again, unassigned resources to my right, division breakout straight out. Thank you.